World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Jana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men wasn't the same. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be linked to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is magic.
Greetings and Happy New Year or New Beginnings. Of course, this is Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse giving you that checkup from a neck up from Access Wealth Nation on the Soul City Network, teaching you some of the basics on how money works. And of course, we are embarking upon tax season. So I'm hoping for the listeners that are on WHCR 90.3 FM, that they're ready to take notes because it's on the radio. But there are things that are happening in our world. And so it is time for us to, as a community, to get prepared and take care of our financial houses. So I say, I'm glad to be back. I've been on a mission, just showing financial literacy all over the country. But you know, my heart and soul is with Soul City and Access Wealth Nation. There's a lot of programs getting ready to come forth. Let me just take a quick moment before we go into the other accolades and things that need to be done. People say financial literacy, and you need to respond, what do you mean? Because a lot of times people are out here and they are just, trying to sell you something. There are people who are fiduciaries. This requires certain licenses. And you want to know, you can go on broker check for FINRA, FINRA.com. Go on and then put in broker check to see what have they done or what licenses do they hold. Nobody wants a partially licensed doctor. So I don't know how you want a partially licensed financial advisor or financial educator. It is important that we do as much as we can to raise the awareness in our community about financial literacy. This is my passion. So little housekeeping. Of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I'll be glad to take them. But in addition to it, we have some books that we can give away. And they can be given away if you go to Anaj Enterprises, that's ANAJ Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com. And you must give us your address. I will not spam you. I will not send other people or sell the list. All we need is, but it's a physical book. You'll see this. This is one that's autographed. Of course, I'm in my office, and so it's my autographed copy. How Money Works, Stop Being a Sucker. All you have to do is say, I want the book. I heard you on Access Wealth Nation, and I'd like the book. This is my address, and we will send this out. There's also, now you get one book, okay, but there's also, you can tell us that you'd rather have the How Money Works for Women book, Take Control or Lose It. That book is specifically, it's for women, but I think men get something out of it too. And the reason being is that there's a lot of changes taking place, and women in 2030, as it's quiet as it's kept, will be controlling over 30 trillion, that's with a T, trillion dollars in funds, money, assets. And so I guess the men need to learn also to come on board and learn also, because you may inherit that money or you may help her to manage it. We just want you to know what to do, because it's so important when you turn around and find out that you have this money, you've gotten it by, make it work for you. So many times our people get money, and I know I'm going to go way back to, I remember, I think his name was Curtis Short or something like that. He won the lottery, and it was $5 million. It was one of the largest lotteries. Look at where we are now. But I will say what he did was, which was the notoriety, he brought his wife and his girlfriend to pick up the money. But that's not the be all and end all. He used it all. He got rid of it instead of making it work for him. And there are so many things in today's world, especially with the market being an all-time high, you can take a look for yourself, is to take advantage and sit with a financial advisor or a financial educator that will take you through your financial needs analysis and then come back and tell you what you need to do. It's no obligation. So if you'd like one, you're very welcome to get one by one of my staff members. And all you have to do is call 646-375-2121 and say that you would like a free financial analysis. See, it's basically a way to find out where you are and where you'd like to be, and how do you plan on getting there. You know, if you don't have a plan, then you probably are planning to fail. So why do that when you could get the assistance? No one's going to try to sell you anything. If so, I would hold them to the carpet, because it's about knowing where you are and how to get to where you want. And that's the only way, is to have a plan. And especially for you young folks out there, this is a time that you can honestly make a difference in your future. You know, many of us want to be millionaires, but it's just like many people want to be a millionaire, but what will you do to get there? You know, it's just like everybody wants to go to heaven, but are they willing to die for it? I know that's an old one. All righty. And then we have what's called our ebook, electronic book. But I have a physical copy because they printed it for me, because I'm one of the leaders out here on the financial literacy programs. And it's Change Your Literacy, Change Your Life. That one is in E. So you can also send us an email at anagenterprisesinc@gmail.com and say, I just take the ebook and read it. You know, a little knowledge is good. A lot of knowledge is a change in life. So that being said, it's time for us to embark upon the basic world of taxes again. It seemed like it was just around the corner when we were talking about taxes. And one of the reasons is that thing called extension. You know, many of you don't have all your documents, or you're not sure. You got changes that have taken place in your life. You might have sold a house, sold a business. All those things are things that can cause you to delay doing your tax returns on time. Now, on time for a person is April 15th. If you are a partnership or an S Corp, that's a subchapter S Corp, your date is March 15th. The reason being is because you have to first take care of those partnerships and get things called a K1, and then transfer it over to your personal taxes. But the key is, if you don't have any of that and you just want to file a tax return, a simplistic tax return, do you know that IRS has a portal? So you can go to irs.gov, put your information in there, and you don't have to pay for anything because you didn't have anybody do anything special. And they'll kick out a tax return directly with IRS. So these things can be done. I'm not battling with those. My clientele is a little different. But when in doubt, if you're not sure of what you want to do, then you see a tax expert. They should have certifications where they show that they've done their continuing education, so that they can, that they're up to date. I know I have seen folks, and it's the most funniest thing to see people still doing their taxes by hand and carbon paper. Now that was back in 1977 when I started doing taxes. And that was a time when people did them by hand. You could do your own tax returns. And in some ways, in today's world, you can do the same if you have the patience and not be fearful of the numbers. Yes, there are programs out here, all sorts, who can sell your information in helping you do your tax returns. And some will let you do the federal on free, and then you got to pay them an astronomical amount on the state. Everybody's in it for their own purpose. The key is, when it comes down to income taxes, we all have to file, and we have a due date. Now, if you can't meet the due date, life has changed, something has happened, and you don't want to be penalized, you can ask ahead of time, even as soon as IRS opens up on January the 27th, when they open up for processing. If you know at that point, I'm not going to make it through to April 15th. I'm not going to make it through to March the 15th. I need help. I need time. You can ask for an automatic extension of 6 months after the filing date. So that means for business returns, that's around October the 15th. No, wrong time. September the 15th. And then if you have personal returns to file, then you can file them on October the 15th up to then. Now, let me tell you the mistake that so many people happen to be making. They see they have an extension. Oh, I got an extension. Yeah, it's an extension to file, not an extension to pay. So some people say, well, how do I know how much I owe? Well, you do an estimate, and hopefully that you're on target. If you're not, you're going to wind up with a penalty. You know, there's a lot of things that are out here to make things a lot easier for you. The bottom line is, we have to file taxes. There's only two things that are guaranteed: death and taxes. It's coming, and we get taxed. You know, when you make money, you get taxed, right? When you buy things, oh, you get taxed. Guess what? When you die, you get taxed. So you might as well get on the board and prepare for it. And then if you need help, contact either an accountant, an enrolled agent. These are people who can help you. You can get those who have been certified by the annual, I have to take a look at the annual filing season program records certification, who have been certified that way. There are people who can help you. Of course, they come with a fee, but some people are willing to pay a fee to do something that they could do themselves. It's okay. That's what's called business. That happens. We can probably mow our own lawn, but what do? We pay somebody for that. We can probably paint our own house. We pay somebody to do that. They do the things that we don't want to do. So I just mentioned that the date opens up for e-filing on the 27th of January. You can still do taxes this weekend. It just won't get processed until the season opens up for IRS. And I believe, I'm not sure that the state will this year be on time to open up, but if not, whenever they open up, your returns will drop in there also. So that being said, is that let's talk a little bit about taxes. And again, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer. Been doing this now, oh my goodness, over 40 years. And it is important that we pay attention to what we're doing. Our tax laws have changed. The new administration is in place, but our tax laws have not changed since the original administration when they came in 2016. So a lot of things that we used to be able to deduct and take are still not in effect. They were supposed to dissolve this tax law as of 2025 this year, but you see, we have a new administration. We have the same administration, so they ain't getting rid of their tax laws. The key to you is to either figure out, do I need to pay someone to do them, or do I need to just try to do it myself? There's lots of information on irs.gov. That is your portal. That's the place where you can even establish and get your documentations, your forms. Now, some people realize businesses are not mandated to send you a W-2 till January 31st. So if you haven't received your W-2, your 1099s, you have to wait. You have until the January 31st, 2025 to get your forms. Now, if you haven't received them by then, you can make some ruckus, okay? And you go back to the people to say, now, if you have done things like sold a home during 2024, because you're doing 2024, you're reporting 2024 tax information in 2025. Let's go here. It's very logical. You couldn't possibly report 2025 information because you haven't done anything. Well, haven't done any completed doing things that may be about taxes. But back on the street. Okay, so in respects, you get your tax forms. If someone tells you that they can do your tax returns off of your pay stub, they're a liar. It's not accepted by IRS. Now, they will create what's called a refund anticipation loan, which is just what it sounds like. You're anticipating a refund and they're going to give you a loan against it. This sometimes can be as high in interest as 300%. It's worse than the payday loans. My question to my dear audience, to all of y'all, if you have put money away and gotten federal withholding, and then it's time to file the tax returns, you can't wait for 14 to 21 days to get your refund. You waited 12 months. Why in the world are you in such a rush to pay extra money to take your refund? Let's identify what a refund is. Refund says I gave the government for 12 months too much money. And then I have to file to get it back. Refund. Okay. But they don't give me any interest for all the time they held my money. Who does that? Okay. That is one of the things that we have to be cognizant of because no one's ever told us. We have commercials, and especially targeted in our community, that Larry gets up on the table and says he's getting a $10,000 refund. Well, Larry could have had $833.33 every month extra, and been able to maybe pay some bills, put money away for a rainy day. But no, he waits and he lets the government hold it for 12 months and give it back. No interest. We got to think differently. But again, if no one tells you, what do you know? How do you know? So that's one of the things when they talk about refunds. And before I get into what deductions are, I'm going to cover a few things that you can look on the site, and I'm going to sort of peek over here on my computer about the scams. We have been blessed with a wonderful world of technology. It is good. It is also bad because there are people with their mindsets that have done some terrible stuff. Number one, let me definitely identify what it means that IRS is not sending you an email. Question I ask you, when did you give IRS your email address on your tax filings? So therefore, why would IRS, when they can send you they can send you letters with postage paid, because they're part of the government. So if they could send you a letter in the mail for free, why would they bother to have some of their employees send you emails? Now, there are places that you can find out if IRS has sent you a correspondence, and that goes back to irs.gov, and you go to your portal, and the portal is done and created by a service called I as in indigo, D as in dog, .me, ID me. Got to answer a few questions, but it will open up to everything that IRS has sent you. But there are scammers out there. So IRS is not going to call you and tell you you have a refund. All right? I guarantee you, they're not going to call you. If you are getting a refund, they ain't calling you to tell you. It's just not happening. So therefore, if you think you're owed a refund, you can go ahead, either see a tax professional, or you can go online, enter your information, and see if there was one there. If not, that's a scam. Okay? I never forget, and I bless my dear client. She has left us, but Betty Jordan, bless her soul, a senior who IRS, someone called as if they were IRS, and instead of just, we just need you to verify your social security number. Well, you IRS, why you got to verify? Let me verify what you have of mine. That's what should have been. So Betty was so awesome. She said, well, first I got to talk to my accountant. Okay. But then he said, no, we just want to be able to give you this money. She said, well, look at the time. It's after 6 o'clock. I'm paying you overtime to annoy me? She said, you better hang up because we ain't paying you no extra money to be on this line. And she hung up, but she got the number. And there's a site on irs.gov that you can go to and report a scam. Some people say, well, I don't want to get involved. Yeah, you want someone to protect you. Why wouldn't you report it so that you could protect you? And not only that, but you can protect others, by reporting it. There's many things we get online, and the online people are scamming like mad. And usually I get an attitude and I tell them, look, after a while, after playing with them a little while and telling them, yeah, tell me more about this, tell me more. Then I say, you know what you're doing in our community and hurting people, you need to go to hell with gasoline drawers on. You need to suffer. Why? Because you shouldn't be doing this to people, stealing their money. Okay. But in respects, if you think there's a scam, there's some that are on COVID that say, oh, you're due more money from the stimulus. There's charity impersonators that will say you donated, because they can look up sometimes to see, because the nonprofits have a listing of all the people who donate to them. They could easily check that and say you gave to XYZ charity last year. We've changed our portal, or we've changed our link for you to send to. You can now send to XYZ account. Get on the phone. If these are your places that you contribute to, get on the phone and ask them, have they changed anything? It's just a one step to do. And by doing so, then you can get that knocked out the way. Because as soon as people can get your date of birth, your social security number, and your address, they got you. They can impersonate you. There's plenty of credit and refund frauds that are out here that say that you deserved a refund, not necessarily from the government, maybe from purchasing something. Same thing with all the online services that are out here, like I'm not going to even name them because that's just advertising and I don't want to do. But you know what you do when you go online and buy stuff. Well, there's many people who see you buying and come back with, oh, we have a refund for you, or we have a special gift certificate for you. You don't have to take it. So therefore don't do it, because if they start asking for your date of birth, social security number, bank accounts, that can be a terrible thing of identity theft, and you never want to get involved in that. As a matter of fact, this year I have placed a special program on my tax services to be able to detect when identity theft has occurred. And most of the time it happens to happen with our children, because when children enter into a daycare situation or into school, that social security number is exposed at that moment. And if so, there could be a serious repercussion behind it. So don't put yourself in that position. There are also dishonest tax preparers. I would say, oh my goodness, no, never. A dishonest tax preparer, what do they look like? Number one, they don't sign their returns. They'll put you on something like some of these automated programs, and then log it as you did self-employment or self-prepared. That's a sticky wicket. You know you did not self-prepare it. You know you paid them. If you paid them, they are breaking the law. If you're a paid preparer, you are to sign the return. There's falsifying tax information. You know how people will tell you that I can get you back so much money. Well, it's a lot more difficult these days because the tax laws don't allow you to do things like take deductions for your work expenses. Does not exist anymore. Mortgages, you have mortgage deductions. There's real estate taxes. All these things are deductible. But if you don't even have a house, how are you deducting a mortgage or real estate? Okay, so they falsify information. That's a heavy penalty for those who do it because it's fraud. And don't play with it. And don't be a party to the fraud. Put the refund in their bank account. No preparer can commingle funds. They cannot take a bank account and take their refund and put it in their bank account. If they want to get paid out of your refund, there are services that will provide that for them. Or there's a way to split with the 8888 form. And sometimes you can use that to get your payment if you're a preparer. But nobody's tax returns need to go in the preparer's bank account, no matter what. If you're getting a refund anticipation loan, it does not go into their account. It's supposed to go into your account and into a set fund that by the company providing the refund anticipation loan. Okay, so don't get duped by that. Another one is if it requires you to pay cash and does not give you a receipt. Now, in some cases, when you are what they call itemizing, taking deductions on your income, things that are still deductible, and I'll go through that. But if you're in that kind of situation of where it would be that you could take the deductions, you also can deduct the tax preparer's fee out of it, but only on the state of New York, not on the Fed. Fed's got cut, all right? So these are some of the things that you could be aware of, especially in the scam. If you are a senior, that your date of birth may be online and people start to target. I don't know why they think that when you turned 65, you became idiot brain. Don't know. We do know the difference. And so impersonators of all sorts of ideas and scams, don't fall for it. If someone says there's an issue with your bank account, call your bank. Say, no problem, hang up, call your bank. If it's a case of where someone's reaching out to you for saying that your children need money, they've been held without permission, kidnapped. And would you please, get on the phone, FBI. You can send and make a case at FBI. So you don't have to fall for that okie doke at all. But people have a tendency to target seniors, and they come with multiple scams. So many things that your computer's not working right. If your computer's not working right, they want to know, can you allow them access to your computer? Say no. No. That's all you have to do is say no. Don't do it, tax debt type of relief. Everybody's got a gimmick. They may find out that you owe in taxes, and they come up with these ideas of tax relief that they can get the money back, or they can get you to lower the amount that you're paying. Yeah, there's ways of doing things like that. There's called offering compromise, but that might not be the best thing for you. That's when you need to sit with a specialist. Unclaimed funds, a big scam. The way that you get unclaimed funds is quite simple. You go to your state and go to unclaimed funds. Usually it's the comptroller's office, and go put your name in. If it's your money and you can identify it, then just go ahead and put the claim in. It takes a little while. Sometimes the last one that I just had took me 21 days, and they sent me a check. Please do not go through these places to say, I can get it back for you in 15, 15 for 15%. So you're going to pay them to get your money again. There's unemployment claims. I know someone who got caught in that one, where they said that they were supposed to file for certain unemployment. Now, you know who you work for and when you work. Why in the world would you take on a form and give this to someone and let them tell them they're going to get your unemployment? If something sounds too good, please understand it probably is, but these scammers have got us going. They've got people with fraudulent W-2 forms, unexpected tax bills, that you got to pay right away. And then the big thing is that because we're so scared, we don't think. And they say you got an unpaid tax bill. So we're like, well, how do we settle this? Because, I don't want nobody touching my pay stub. And then they tell you to go get gift cards and write and scratch off the number. Now, when in the world would IRS ever do that? Never. But we're so frightened. They catch you at the wrong time, which is the right time for them. And what do? You start to do things. Forgive yourself if you've done it, but better yet, if you haven't done it, don't do it. It's not real. It's just not real. And then there's fraudulent W-2 forms. People altering the W-2. W-2 forms are to be printed, and part of it gets returned to IRS. IRS does not look at them usually until about mid-year, but once they look, you get a letter saying you claimed income you didn't make, or you didn't claim income because someone got a hold of your social security number and they set you up. So they're in that position now that they're getting the refund and have filed. Anytime when you file your returns, especially electronic filing, and someone has already filed for you or your child or your dependent, immediately you have to file a paper return, but immediately file that paper return and disclose that identity theft has taken place. You have to be your own whistleblower. You've got to tell people. And some people, well, I suffered. Yeah, you suffered, but don't let the next person suffer. So be very cautious about these different things that are out here, because social media can give you some bad tax advice that can follow you for the rest of your life. Make sure that you check. You can go again, like I said, irs.gov, not because I want everybody to go to irs.gov and deal with IRS. I'm just telling you where the information is. You have an opportunity to understand how taxation works. And also they've got all sorts of little links that you can go on to learn about some of the things that you are eligible to deduct. Okay. So as I said, tax season is getting ready to kick off on Monday. You need to get prepared. Well, what do you have to have? You need your W-2, your 1099, your bank statements that, if you got interest, 1099, INT. If you have Social Security, you need to have your Social Security statement. They send you this form. And it shows exactly how much were paid in Social Security. Not only that, but how much you paid in Medicare Part B. You know that they took out that $185, okay? And then the other parts, anything else. And if you so chose, because a lot of people don't know that Social Security may be taxable to you. I hear that. I hear people screaming, what you mean it's taxable? If you've earned a certain amount of money and received Social Security, there's a chance that your Social Security could be taxable. If so, if you haven't paid enough tax, that means you withheld the taxes, and therefore you might have to pay back something. And so you want to be prepared for that. Other things that you need to provide when you're getting ready to either do your own taxes, or if you're taking it to an accountant or a preparer, you need to make sure you have your mortgage interest statement, your real estate tax. If you pay your real estate outside of your mortgage on your own, well, you need to make sure you tell them how much you paid in real estate tax. Now, there's some caveats there as far as real estate tax, because it goes along with your state and local tax. And that's called the SALT bill that came out, that turned into law, which you can't deduct more than $10,000. And a lot of you, especially my brothers and sisters on the island, you know what it felt like over these years, and looks like we got it going forward. So we may not be able to deduct a lot. Also, if you have a home and it's more that you purchased a home this year and it's more than $750,000, you may not be able to deduct all that interest, because anything, if it's $1 million, everything over, you're not allowed, over the 750, you're not allowed to deduct. So it's getting a little difficult to deduct things. Sometimes, and as we get up there, we got a lot of medical bills. We need to look, but it has to come over 7.5 of your adjusted gross income. So you need to know whether or not this is deductible or not. And again, you can contact an accountant and have, well, don't do it too late because they'll be gone. They'll be telling you can't talk to you till after the season. But you can ask how much would it cost to get an hour's consultation where they could take a look and see what you did. Those things can be done. Prescriptions, all these things can be added. Now, when it comes down to medical bills, you need to have a lot, usually. But also, it means that you also get to deduct if you paid for transportation to get back and forth to the doctor because you couldn't get there any other way. Those things, you can do your metro, but those things are a lot higher. Prescription glasses, hearing aids, those things are deductible. They got it all grouped together, though, in your medical side. If your doctor tells you you need to go to the gym, tell your doctor to put that in writing because that gym membership could possibly be deductible in your medical side. But if your doctor didn't say do it, not, and you don't have any proof. Another thing that I think people should be paying attention to is that they really should think about putting together a retirement plan because it looks like we're going to have some serious situations in the future. Social Security might not look the same way as it's been, but in addition to it, we need more money. We got bills to pay. And when you retire, sometimes you're living off of 50% of what you were making. Now, if you weren't able to make it on 100% of what you were making, how in the world are you going to make it on 50? That's why a lot of retirees have this word, welcome to Walmart, because you got to go back to work to make some money. Try to prevent that. The way you prevent it is to plan for your retirement and learn how to put a little bit of money away. And as a matter of fact, I will share with you, I'm hoping that I have it up, but a partner of mine in the tax business is doing a seminar tonight, and it's called Retirement. Let me see if I can find it while I'm talking to you guys. But I will put that up and give you the information, or because tonight at 7:30, and it's about retirement income. Yep, retirement red zone. And it's going to be, it's a link. If you go to Zoom, the meeting ID will be 816-9312-3141. 816. Let me see if I can put this in the chat, and possibly our producers can then put this up for you. But there's always a training of some sort to bring financial literacy after my programs on Thursday. We work in tandem with James Wilkerson in Tampa, Florida. And it's a great synergy because I bring the show, and that's the meeting ID. And then this is interesting. Okay, the meeting ID, and then there's the password. Okay, I'm doing the best I can here. It seems like it's an LWICK, capital VU, the number 12, and underscore. So that's it. Maybe that will help. Okay, I'm great. My producers are fantastic. Fantabulous. But that will give you the opportunity to get on board and access the Zoom link. Okay, so that being said, let's talk some more about deductions. Your children that live with you and you take care of them, they also are called a dependent, a deduction. After they turn 26, if they're not in school, well, they're not really a deduction, but under certain circumstances, you can deduct them. Um, my teachers, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about this union. They need to talk to IRS. They give you an automatic adjustment to your income of 300 whopping dollars. I know good and well you teachers out there give more money than that to keep your classes going. But that's upfront. Anything else job related only is deductible on your state level for New York. I don't know some of the other states it's not deductible at all. But these are just some of the things that are deductible. If you're in business, if you're in business and really in business, not just to take a loss, you really should be sitting with an accountant. You really should be able to sit and figure out what will work for the best deductions for you. How do you keep your books? If you're in business and you don't have your books taken care of, that means it could be QuickBooks, it could be anything that you use. If you like Excel spreadsheets, make sure that it's easy to work with and that your accountant can understand what you're deducting. But there are many things that you can deduct. Little secret on business. If you are a business and you're making money and you pay your child, you pay your child to help you out in the business, do you realize that you could take that money that you paid them up to 6,000, 7,000, no, 6,000, 7,000? I'm losing my time. Yeah, $7,000 you can put into an IRA, a Roth. You could definitely, because you've paid them, so that's a deduction to you. And then you have the elements of growing money for them. And if it's a Roth, it can be done tax-free. That's a positive piece, little tidbit note. And I just checked, it's $6,000. Okay, because they're not 50 years old. My world is on the 50s. But that's just something, these things that you can do to help yourself learn more and do better with this year's taxes. And once, if you get a refund, well, take a look and see where you can put that refund to help to make it grow. Not go for some of these sales that they put in our neighborhood and ask us to, oh, you don't have to, we'll take your tax refund instead. You don't have to pay us. Really. Oh, good note that fell in my head. My brothers and sisters who deal in cryptocurrency. Y'all think that's a lot of fun, right? And you're making some money or you're not. Well, you can claim up to $3,000 worth of losses if you bought some type of security, such as crypto or anything, even stocks and bonds, and you sold it for a loss. You can take those losses off your income. But let me tell you, if you made a profit, you have to report it. On your tax returns is a statement that says, I have been paid by crypto in some type of virtual currency, or I have paid out in virtual currency, or I've traded or sold, bought and sold. And it's determined between what dates did you do it? Was it short term, anything less than a year? Or was it long term, a year plus? Both get taxed differently. But the thing is that if you don't report it and say, I didn't do any virtual currency at all, and you know doggone well you did, I didn't do anything, then there's a box on your tax returns. And guess what that box says? That if you're under perjury, if you falsify a record on your tax returns. Well, that's falsification, and IRS has it. It has to be asked. Did you deal in cryptocurrency? And if you did and didn't report it, some people will be reporting. There's some reporting agencies. And if they find out, you could be charged with perjury. Don't want to do that. And sometimes it's not even that much money. Don't play the game. There's too many things out here that we have to deal with than to have to be dealing with that kind of situation. So I would implore you desperately to not put yourself in that position. I know everybody's ready now at this stage to file their tax returns. They think that, oh, I got to get some money. I'm going to get some money. Well, the thing is that what do you do when you get the money? What are you doing these days? Are you taking it, and since you let the government hold it for 12 months, did you at least think about putting it away so that it gets some extra growth, a higher interest? And I'm going to be talking these next few weeks about how to basically look at your financial plan and put your plan together and stop failing at it, learning. We have a video that's out, and it's done by WealthWave, one of my marketing firms. And I say in it, just imagine what it would be like if everybody was financially literate. Just imagine. Then we wouldn't be making all these silly mistakes because we would know better. Because if we know better, we'll do better. We can do this. But the thing is, we got to stop dealing with the falsifications and what people tell us, and we think that they're telling the truth. Now, you can say the same thing about me. Am I telling you the truth? The key is I tell you where to go. Go to irs.gov, and you can learn. You can even put in on IRS a spot of where you can project on what you're getting ready to earn. So, don't fall for the okie dokes that's out here. The thing that where they tell you that you're going to, you have the opportunity to get more refund, or you can work a business. That every year somebody comes out with these, and I'm not downing them, the multi-level marketing businesses. Well, unless you're ready to hustle and work hard, again, the only places in the dictionary where success comes before work. So you're going to work them hard, and you eventually want to show a profit. Why? Because IRS says that if you have a business for 3 to 5 years and have not drawn a profit, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. And if they dub it a hobby, they'll take the income that you made and count it as income for taxes, but they won't let you take the deductions, which means that you're going to wind up paying some more money. So don't put yourself in that type of position. I'm just trying to give you a few little ideas and hints of what you need to do to start to prepare for this tax season. The year starts on Monday and it ends on April 15th for personals. Don't wait. Make sure that you start putting your paperwork together. You should be looking at, if you're a business, and I mean business, if you are an LLC and you are one member, you are going to put that on your personal tax returns. It's going to be called a Schedule C, so it is not an extra business return. Now, you may get charged when you file the tax returns a little bit more money for someone doing those forms. And that's one of the things I looked up, that right now, I remember when I first started doing taxes, a long form where you got to itemize was like $100. And a short form where all you did was plug in was $50. Well, today they say the average, not counting the state, the average return runs somewhere around $220. People got to get paid. Inflation occurs. Now, if you wind up with a business portion or you end up with rental income, hmm That's more money, which means that you're paying more. So if you're in the situation with your taxes and getting ready to prepare, you can also many times get an estimate of what this will cost to do. But the key is one lesson I can definitely share with you. If you get a correspondence from IRS, it is not going to disappear. You need to open it up and answer it. Make your life easier and make your accountants or your tax preparers have an easier life trying to help you. So don't do that. Okay. And so basically, that's the world of taxation. As I said, if things that you want to learn, what to deduct, what not, if your tax preparer does not ask you questions regarding your taxes and your lifestyle, a lot of people have a tendency to just, they say, well, I hand my W-2 in and that's it. But then you had savings and interest and stuff in your account. You received interest or you had an investment. These are the things that you need to ask. What I do with my clients, I give them a tax organizers. It reflects on what they did last year and are they still doing it this year. Don't come to the tax preparer or the accounting firm without your children's date of birth, social security number, and also if they were under age 13, also if they had childcare or was it camp, there are deductions for that. Yes, they are, and that's the key, to be diligent, to make a difference. So it has been really wonderful talking with you. I hope you will attend at 7:30 the Retirement Red Zone. It's online. You can watch it in your PJs, just like you watch me here. You can just sit there and listen. If you have questions, please always feel free to share with us, and usually I'm able to answer. This is a lot of years of a lot of knowledge, so I do my best to give you the best of what I have. But in addition to it, if anything else, or you'd like to hear of a special topic and talk about, please do reach out at Anaj Enterprises Inc. at gmail.com, or you can call our office at 646-375-2121. It is a pleasure serving you, because my goal is to bring financial literacy to our community and make a difference, because if we know better, we'll do better. And therefore, we need to get our checkup from the neck up and make a difference. Not only learn, but to act. Thank you so much for your time. This is Dr. Jana B. Woodhouse. I'm signing off, and you be blessed and keep a plan.
She was told that she couldn't play with the boys. She was told that they were too big, too rough, too strong. She was told to give up her dreams and move on. She was told to just be pretty, be quiet, be a lady. She was told that women had to stay on their side of the court, stay in your lane. Playing and competing with men was insane. She was told that men and women would never be equal. Dreaming like that would only be lethal to your mind, to your soul. She never listened. She knew that their thinking was old. She is magic. She is the definition of spirit. She is what champions are made of. She is magic.